Group 2 then. Race on Sunday, buy on Monday. That was the accolade of the time, and it still is today. Off comes the safety car, and you have to just get out of the way. Away goes Tyler. Up the outside, just right on the doing exactly what I said. Right all over the oil. Not frightened at all, but that's another Hagen for you. Group 2, away he goes. He isn't frightened, is he? Off he goes.
Look at those cars.
Lovely. Up the hill. Bit of grunt for the feature race. And as you can see, people careening on the bridge to get a
Tyler
great view.
going up the inside.
Oh, he does. Well, he was on the outside, and he turned it into the inside at the top of the hill there. But that was a good start. And now we're going to see, with this 8-lap race, how they spread out. And I'm keeping an eye. Jeffrey O'Neill taking the lead away in that Ferrari 250 GTO.
Yeah, Jeff drives the way he organizes things, right?
Yeah,
very well.
Very well.
Turn 1's the best place to be on the outside.
Yeah, because you've got that inside line. Yeah.
Because once you go up the hill, you're on the inside.
Yeah, good point. Well, away he goes, Jeffrey O'Neill leading the way. And here's the famous carousel. And we saw the Lotus in that last race. We were going to see it again, but we saw it doing the outside move. So there's a lot of lines out there. And now the dust and dirt is going to make it a little bit more tricky. But there is grip out there. There's no question. There's some tracks. I was at Coda last weekend, and there really is no grip on the outside with all the marbles and stuff. And that's usually the case at most racetracks. But here at Sonoma, we've been lucky, haven't we? There seems to be quite a lot of grip everywhere.
I learned yesterday in the mini race that you can go 3 wide all the way through the carousel. And I was on the far outside, and it worked. I was shocked.
Jeff went slightly wide there, lost a place, and 2 places, in fact. He's dropped to 3rd as the 96 also going well, the Alfa-Romeo GTZ of David Perkins of Park City, Utah. Just saw him. And there's the 49, that is the Abarth. 61 of Ransom Webster, who's been around. I'm sure you've raced him.
And a beautiful car. Just a spectacular Abarth car. Oh, man, so good.
Go on then, if you've got to pick one, is it the one that your son's driving, or is it one of those Ferraris?
Well, I'm a Porsche guy, so I'm drawn to the Porsches, but man, those Ferraris are hard to beat. They're just a work of art. And Jeff's on it. He's trying to get him back.
Yep. Now, in historic terms, is it polite to allow the organizer to go through in his priceless car, as we've just seen? Well, is that what the text you sent, was it?
Yeah. I had
Let him through! He invited us!
Let Jeff win.
Yes.
No, there's no...
No.
You know, once the green flag drops, there's no let anybody win.
No
right?
team orders in
Everybody
vintage racing. It's more competitive than most of the races I go to. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of Max Verstappen, dominate the race here in vintage.
Nah.
Little better racing.
Well, we've got, like I said, cars from 1956, all in period SCCA production cars. And like you said, this was a bit of a golden era, really, in the early 60s for American racing. We have, obviously, the huge influence from the likes of Porsche coming over, and Alfa, Fiat. But then we've got the odd Austin-Healey 3000 out there, 1959. Kevin Adair at the wheel of that, another Californian. Plenty of Californian drivers here.
Rob Stoker in that beautiful red Giuletta Spider. It's a cool car. What's great about these cars is back in the era, they would drive the car to the racetrack, race it for the weekend, and drive it home. You just don't do that anymore.
So yeah, they were all licensed back then, right? You had to basically, have it licensed anyway to go to the racetrack. There you go. You see the license plates. That does look a lot of fun, that 57.
Isn't that pretty?
So who owns that?
I'd have to look at the list. Is that Ranson or is that Bill Lyon?
Ranson's 49.
That's William Lyon.
So
Yeah, sorry.
Bill Lyon. So Bill and I raced at Rennsport a month ago, both in 910. So we had a lot of fun dueling out there.
That sounded like a great event. I spoke to some of the Porsche Carrera Cup guys because they did their North American Championship there. Riley Dickinson saying that was a great event.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into Porsches, Rennsport is it's hard to beat. I mean, just what the factory support, the cars that they bring over from Stuttgart, the museum, it's over the top. Really, really nice.
Rather nice looking 96 Alfa Romeo GTZ. I just mentioned David Perkins from Park City at the wheel of that one, getting dust thrown in his face by the 49. But across the strip they come, and they're sort of dealing with that clear up now, and it's starting to make it look a bit more pretty. And talking of which, the 163 Giuletta Spider, that lovely classic Alfa.
great view from that.
Yeah, the
that
drone
cam.
has given
That's
us
cool.
so many different. Jeff O'Neill, as you can see, back into the lead in the Ferrari. But yeah, the drone gives us this wonderful view of how you attack some of these corners and how these drivers do. You don't see it at ground level or even on an onboard. I've always been really impressed with the perspective you get, especially like this corner, the carousel here. You see how long it is.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that long when you're out there.
No, I'll
It's,
bet.
You're actually in it quite a while.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you go up to 7, pretty tight turn, and then the S's are just fabulous down the back. As we talked about, I met one of the designers of the track several years ago, and they were standing at the top of the hill trying to figure out how to get the track back to the start finish, and they saw a cow trail following down through the valley, and that turned into the back straight, the S's. So I think that's why it feels so organic. It actually is.
Yeah, natural. And also, it's a natural amphitheater with the hills in the background behind the main grandstand, which, the grandstand would really stick out were it not for a huge hillside behind it.
If you haven't had a chance, the fans should get over, there's a tunnel under the track to go to turn 9, and you can literally see the entire track from the grandstands at turn 9. It's really a great place to watch from.
Just saw a yellow flag out there, and I don't know if that's a full course yellow, but we've got a few cars that have come off track, but...
it's not full course.
No, good. It's just a local yellow. That's good to see. Good battle on here then for the lead as Jeffrey O'Neill continues to lead. And they're going to get into traffic now, and now they're going to have to sort of dice their way through this. This is going to be interesting because Rob Walton is right there in the Berlinetta, so it's an Italian fest right at the front of this.
It's still tight at the front, right? Got 4 or 5
Very
cars.
close.
4 or 5 cars going after it.
Five laps to go, and it's nip and tuck at the front, no question, as they go to the top of the circuit and now start to make that long run downhill. What would you say is the hardest section technically here?
I think turn 1, turn 2 is very challenging to get it right. The G-forces are pulling you across track. You're trying to get back to the left. It's a little bit blind at turn in. The track goes away from you at the end of after the apex, and it's really difficult to get well done.
Well, as we take a look at the 57, I just want to tell you that car, the Berlinetta, in second place, is one of 4 out of 24 ever built, first owned by Walter Lambert of Switzerland. Sadly lost his life driving it, but it did a bunch of hill climbs and was restored back in the mid-60s and eventually repaired back in 1962, and then it got Swiss, German and Italian ownership prior to being sold in 2003, and it was sold to Bobby Rahal, of all people, the car you're looking at in second place at the moment.
I had a ex-Michael Rahal car, a Elva Mark 7 that I sold back to Bobby about 2 years ago. It's in their collection.
That's, yeah, he's a big collector. He likes his cars, no question.
He loves the vintage stuff too.
Yeah.
He really does. Look at Bill Lyon is
I
right
know,
there.
it's right there in third place.
We got a little Porsche coming on here against the Ferraris.
Three-way battle. It just keeps getting better. I think as the weekend goes on, we should make this a full week, because by the time we did, we'd have a fastest lap then for the leader, Jeffrey O'Neill, trying to push on, but he can't get away at the moment because. And fourth place also, Ranson Webster is making a move, and his Abarth. So we're going to have 2 Porsches versus 2 Ferraris. Germany versus Italy. Perfect, in the middle of America.
This is how it ought to be.
Yep.
You see that horsepower advantage, but the Porsches are doing well in the corners.
And look at this. We got a real battle here with 4 to go.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, it's easier to be where Rob Walton is in second position than
Yeah.
it is where Jeff is. Like seeing all those guys behind you trying to catch you. You can't miss a shift. You can't miss a turn-in point. You got to get the apex. So he's feeling it right now.
Well, I don't know how he has the chutzpah to do all this, because there must be a lot on his mind.
Yeah, he's not busy this weekend at all.
Not at all. No, I asked Ryan Turry, who's occasionally, I've seen him run Trans Am Historics and throw his helmet on and get going. But I said to him, "Are you going to get out there?" And he said, "I don't have time this weekend. It's too much to think about. But
I think that's why Jeff's out there.
Yeah, I think that's it. He knows he can't be bugged out there. There's no phone.
Ryan's getting all the work done.
Yeah. Well, that's a smart guy.
Jeff's having the fun.
Ranson Webster, we're watching in 4th place, who is catching this group in 3rd. In fact, he's just done his fastest lap of the race. So watch out for that number 1949. The number 49, 1961, and we've got a lead change as the Berlinetta hits the front. Well, there you go.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Wonderful.
They're tight now.
Yep. Into 11 and out of 11, and we're going to keep an eye on whether the 57 now of William Lyon makes his move. He goes to the outside. The Ferraris take the inside line. And now the Abarth still there in the distance. And again, Rob Walton putting the fastest lap of the race in that last lap to take the lead away from Jeffrey O'Neill, who will try to come back at the top of the hill.
I don't think he's just going to let him have it.
Probably not a lot of difference in power and weight and ratio between those two Ferraris.
Yeah, I think they're quite similar. But it's a classic, right? Big motor,
yeah.
Bigger car against the Porsche with a very small motor, but quick handling car. It's fun to watch.
And a little further down, rounding out the top 10, Delenius, the young man we spoke to. I say young man, but they're all young in heart. Marnix Delenius in that Alfa-Romeo rounding out the top 10. John Ganaway a moment in the 11 in the Triumph TR4 in 9th position. Mike Doyle in the Jaguar XKE from 1961. He's in 8th position. Tyler still there. He's down in 7th at the moment, Tyler Hagan, and doing a good job. He's trying to chase down Robert Stoker, who you were talking about earlier. Yeah, here we go, side by side again.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
I'm glad those cars aren't worth much.
Nah, it's just a couple of go-karts out there. I don't know what they're worried about. I honestly, if somebody said, would you like to drive, I would absolutely decline. I wouldn't want the responsibility. I'd love to drive one, don't get me wrong, but, absolutely no way.
The good news, bad news is they're race cars, and so they've been crashed, they've been rebuilt.
Yeah.
And everything is repairable. But, yeah, you don't want it.
But it's like a thoroughbred racehorse. It's like, yeah, unless you know how to deal with a racehorse, you don't know what you're doing. Change for the lead again. Up the inside at 11, under braking. Jeffrey O'Neill looking for the lead and takes the lead.
What a pass.
Now, that's actually given our 3rd place, number 57, a chance at the Berlinetta as the laps tick down. But there's nothing between the top 3 at the moment. Well, we had to wait a little bit, but it was worth waiting for, that's for sure.
Fabulous race.
Now, I was going to say, where's the Berlinetta stronger, but there really isn't a place. They're just pretty equally yoked. And I'm not sure whether the Porsche's got the grunt to actually make an impact on the two, but we'll see.
I think there'll have to be a mistake.
Well, and that could happen if they get into a real Barney, as we say in England. They get into a real fight, which I wouldn't predict anymore. I wouldn't say that normally, but the racing has been absolutely brilliant.
You've got Jeff O'Neill and Rob Walton. You think they're competitive guys?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of pride at stake. And now they've got cars ahead of them that are a little bit slower. So traffic, here it is. So now this is the chance for the Berlinetta in these closing stages. And you can see from the body language of the car, he senses it.
Well, they got by that pretty clean.
Yep. And here they are, approaching our commentary position in a moment. And again, I can see another Porsche ahead of them. And, in fact, there's quite a lot of cars. There's some 4 cars now ahead 6 cars
Oh,
ahead
this is
of
gonna-
our leaders.
Yeah,
This is
this
going to
is
get
gonna tighten
interesting.
it up right here.
Really going to be interesting now. Now they've got to clear as many as they can down the main straight from here to that left-hand turn. That's what you want to do, and they are giving them the signal quite rightly. And the flag marshals doing their business. And the white flag is out. What a race this is. The final lap then. The 2 Ferraris going head-to-head, being chased hard by the number 57, William Lyon, in the Porsche Abarth Carrera GTL. It's 61 versus, well, they're all 60, well, 63 versus 61. The second and third from 1961, and the leader, a 1963.
Ooh, they're tight. Bill's right there. He's got a shot.
Got a very good shot. Bill Lyon, the man we're talking about, in third position at the moment as they start to head downhill towards the carousel. Was that a mistake? No. He just took a he's taking a very different line on the inside there. Maybe gives him a little more run at the carousel with this long left-hander coming up now, and you'll see him tighten up, late brake as he does, come out of vision there for a second, and he'll pop out in a moment, and he'll be as close as he's been, I would have thought. Right there he is. But I think Jeffrey's got this at the moment. O'Neill on his way in this absolutely magnificent Porsche, this magnificent Ferrari 250 GTO. But the Porsche is still pushing in second place to try and take one of the Ferraris to task at the end of this race. Group 2, and it's been a cracker.
Yeah, they're hauling the mail.
Yep, they are hauling the mail, exactly right. And they're coming down the back part of the circuit towards our commentary position for the last time now. And it's nip and tuck, the 3 of them, very close together. And if Rob Walton's going to make his move, it's got to be now at 11 for the drag race to the front. But I don't think he's got enough to do it. They come into turn 11, the famous mini hairpin here at Sonoma. And it's going to be Jeffrey O'Neill who wins at his very own event.
Look
and
at
it's going to
that.
be close. Look how close it is.
Fabulous.
There's the checkered flag, and it is literally a photo finish. 0.137 of a second. Ah! Who says these cars are over 50 years old? Fantastic. And there's the 7 coming in. That's Delenius in that 64 Alfa Romeo. But the winner, Jeffrey O'Neill in that 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO. Have you seen it? That's a good race. You enjoy that?
That was amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
It's exactly
Yep.
what we wanted. Well, I'm out of breath, but I know somebody who's not is Taylor. She's out there. What's going on, Taylor?